Today was a very good example of the prior video prior to this that I posted talking about volatility and using the VIX. Maybe you're a trader that got squeezed out today trying to short the open, or maybe you tried shorting multiple times but couldn't find any edge. And in this video, I'll be explaining what happened and how you could have capitalized on movement to the upside. So, if you haven't seen the video I posted prior to this, go check it out because this was a live trade. Pretty much what occurred was the same thing that occurred on Monday today. So, over the weekend, we had wars with Israel news and that sent the market, at least volatility, to spike up. Okay, and the reason that I know that is if you go to the VIX, you got two different types of instruments. You got the VIX and the futures VIX. Both are really good indicators to watch, specifically the future VIX. But in this case, today we had the pre-market session open up, and we opened up at 24, 25, 24 handles, which was aggressively high. And if you compare the previous periods here, the highest that we saw was 23 handles. However, prior to that, as you guys know, in February, the last 2 weeks, we were just straight consolidating or weren't seeing huge movement. And that was due to this range that we were in. And we finally broke above that, right? So here, going into the market, I said, okay, look, if 25 handles holds and sustains value above 22, then the market has a higher probability of pushing to the upside or to the downside. In this case, we saw this reject on an extension, ended up filling nearly this gap that was at 20 handles, and the market reverted and went straight to the upside all day, pretty much today. And most novice traders would have tried shorting the open if you were impatient, or you would have tried just continuously tried shorting once again, until you finally got some sort of reversal. And if you're a reversal trader, more than likely that diminishes your edge when you have some sort of fix moving the way it did today. So first things first, as mentioned, is this 25 handle was very important. We haven't seen that much volatility since pretty much the fifth, and then kind of before that the 17th, and then just before there or after that we just ended up ranging at the 24th. So yeah, so that's the VIX. Future VIX is slash VX. So I'll be pulling up there. Same thing. You guys can also see that war highs. Had my levels there in confluence, and we end up getting that 2050 handle on the VIX. So specifically, the names today that were moving was pretty much tech. A lot of traders were trying to play upside, maybe on gold or oil, because they thought that okay, the market's going to go to World War III, let's go buy gold and buy calls off the open. But more than likely you just ended up losing money on that. And so here, GLD, we ended up getting the complete opposite. We got sell off here. Okay, whenever tech typically moves the way it did today, and whenever we have the VIX go the way it did, we typically see an outflow of money in certain sectors. Like today, it was commodities. Okay, you can see that IWM was strong, Mag 7 stocks were strong, and software stocks were also strong, while airline stocks were also pretty much weak. Okay, so AWL or AL, that was somewhat pretty much flat throughout the day and it kind of recovered. And then Delta Airlines, same thing as well. But the overall sector was pretty weak. And then here you can see, of course, XLK, meaning the tech sector, was the strongest sector in the day today. And then, of course, energy, right? So you can see that. So you guys there. And you were still able to capitalize on small intraday movements, even though sectors were still strong, right? Whenever a sector is incredibly weak, those are the best trades you could put on in confluence with the VIX. So here, of course, you saw the market end up selling off, and then we had an overnight low that was placed. And then whenever you see that, typically followed with the VIX being that extended. And keep in mind, right, the VIX was extended about 19%, right? About 19% here from the close. You can see that there, 26% per se. Sorry about that, 26% from the close, and that is not normal for the VIX, right? So whenever you see that, you can always be patient, not try to trade the open. And this gives you some sort of serious edge in terms of just trying to short the open where most novice traders will get faked out, right? So that was a good play. And that's really pretty much a recap off of that. We saw a huge uptrend day to the upside. And if you knew that, you would have been rewarded, and probably using 597 as in validation levels, or probably like 50% of that. So today was a great day, good example of what the market could do when you have real tools. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want more content, if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys soon.